Hi, April here, and today we're going to talk about who did you or where did you give or who did you give your happy to? Where did your happy go? It seems to kind of be the theme of today and what's going on around us. A lot of us are in celebration and we're honoring the holiday and we're just really having a good time. But in reality, we've kind of lost the happy. We've kind of lost the everyday excitement, the everyday passion, and the everyday journey for our lives. And today I want to talk about on our live stream, talk about how you can get your happy back. Where did your happy go? When did you let your happy go? And how did you let your happy go? Those type of things. And kind of answer and ask the real question is, who, what, where, why, and when did the happy go? Where did it go? How did it go? Why did it go? And, how can we get that happy back? And how can we get all of that energy back within us that has more of that positive vibration, more of that uplifting and that empowering aspect of ourselves? My name's April, and I'm an intuitive mentorship coach, and you can find more about me at aprillugo.com and find more information about a little bit about what I do, about what the mentorship coaching is all about and how it helps. And a little bit of the live streams that I do is just kind of a touch on some of the things that we cover when we're doing the mentorship coaching and that type of thing. So I want to invite you to look at that, and if you'd like to send me an email, it's aprillugophd@yahoo.com. So I'm going to get right down into it, and we all have choices. We all have choices to have our own perception. We have our choices to decide, do I want to do something one way? Do I want to do something another way? Do I want to let this influence me? And we all have those choices. Hi, Carolyn. We all have those choices. We all have that opportunity to decide what we're going to do and how we're going to feel. Now, you may have been brought up in a situation where you're like, but I never really had that choice. Well, I'm here to tell you, you know what? You have the choice now today because we're talking about it and we're becoming aware about it and we're becoming honest and full of understanding about it within ourselves. So we all have the right and the choice to make and the opportunity to make our own choices. So if we look at the same sky, say it's a beautiful blue sky with a few little wispy clouds in it, and it's got a really nice breeze. We can look at that from two different perspectives. It's too hot, it's too cold. Oh, we're going to get a storm. Look at those clouds. Aren't those clouds phenomenally beautiful? It's how we want to look at it. It's our perspective of how we want to see what is going on around us. And so when we're making those choices, when we're looking at what we're going to do and how we're doing it, it's the perspective. It's what you see, it's what I see, it's what we all see as a whole. We can look at things as disastrous, or we can look at things as uplifting. Hi, Brittany. We can look at things as exciting. It's the perspective that we take and we hold within that. Sometimes we have people who will say or do things that may cause us to release our happy and release the joy and the energy that we're feeling within ourselves. In reality, we have to change our perspective of what that person may be doing or why. It's called owning our own personal power. It's called owning our own truth, owning our own identity. They're okay being over in their world, having their thoughts, their perceptions, and everything over there. But we have to honor ourselves, and we have to have our own thoughts. We have to have our own perceptions, and we have to have our own beliefs. I'm going to give an example of a situation. So say somebody says, well, my girlfriend, we've been together now for 6 months and she just drives me crazy. Okay, so when we look at that, we have to look at it from the place of what is the perception and what is going on here. 6 months ago when you met this person, the sun rose and set on them. You were happy, the relationship was going places, there was positive energy flowing, and then what happened? What changed that? Was it you that changed? Was it her that changed? Was it both of you that changed? How do you not let people take your happy away in a work setting? In a work setting, yeah, definitely. I'm going to come back to that one, Carolyn. Great question. When we do that and we change our perception, a lot of times it's because we'll call it kind of like the honeymoon phase of it is over, the excitement place of it is over, and those type of things can then begin to manifest, and we can start looking at, how did I change? How did I make the shift within myself in that relationship? How did she or he change that made the change and the shift within my relationship, that we're to the point where we're driving each other crazy? And then we need to step back and reevaluate that and say, I think it's when I finally started realizing A, B, or C, or I started putting myself in my head too much and not just really honoring the relationship. There's a lot of bits and pieces to all of that that can create that and can take us to that place. When we work with coaches, or when we work with, such as I do, mentorship coaching, it's a chance for you to help get that awareness opening, and it's a chance for you to get that truth revealed to you, so that maybe something you can't see in your everyday, you can actually see as you start working on it. Carolyn, I want to answer your question. How do you not let people take our happy away in a work setting? In a work setting, a lot of times we are kind of at the mercy of our employer. We're at the mercy of who writes our paycheck. We're kind of at the mercy of, if you work in public relations or in right hands-on in with the public, we kind of are in a place of that. And when we come to situations, we have to look at ways to diffuse them. And in the work setting, I think that's very similar. We have to find a way, and we have to go into that with the honest opinion and the honest understanding within ourselves that I can't become the victim again. I can't allow myself to be placed in that situation where I'm compromising the real me, where I'm compromising who I am. Now, I know we all have to have jobs. We all have to make money. We all have to go to work. So we have to find ways that we can stay in our own integrity, so that we can stay in our own truth without allowing that which is happening out around us to become a part of us, or allow it to go inside and start to develop and create us. When we do, that's us giving our happy away. So it's, once again, it's that standing in truth. Excuse me. Standing in truth and standing in the knowledge that I'm not going to give me away. And I'm going to share the part of me that might be able to keep my happy here at work, and maybe become contagious to others, that they keep their happy as well, so that it's not the big snowball that can create the 4 o'clock time clock, the 5 o'clock time clock, saying, oh, thank God I get to get out of here. I don't have to be in this presence anymore. It's that changing perception. It's that changing the understanding of it, And because I'm not real sure what type of work setting you're relating to, Carolyn, if we have a customer who comes in who's growly, cranky, and ornery, we have to remember that's their stuff. That's their reality. That maybe our smile can help save them. Maybe our positive word can help give them the opportunity to find their own happy again. We can always find something that's going to be positive. Like I use the example of the sky. It can either be beautiful or it can be ugly. It could be snowing like crazy, and a person could be like, ah! Another person could be, yeah! It depends on the perception. And, a lot of times people start giving problems out to us, especially when we're out in the public setting, or if we're out in a work environment. That energy can be coming at us, not because that's truly where they're at right now, but it's usually a trickling down of events that has happened in their lifetimes. You'll find this happening in families with kids. You know, they're children and they are maybe relating really well, and then all of a sudden the child reaches an older teenage and there's nothing but... I was talking to a client this morning and she's like, I can't believe how I feel, you know, about my child. And it's the perception of what they're feeling. It's what they're allowing to happen. On Facebook this morning, I saw a video, and I'm really going to try to find it again because I want to share it. It was so impactful, and had such a positive message. And it's about this little cabin. And people vacation at this little cabin, and outside the cabin every morning and every night is a woodpecker, bang, 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 on the side of the cabin. And most of the people were like, wow, this has just really ruined my vacation. I've had to listen to this woodpecker wake me up at the crack of dawn and make a noise at night when I want to go to sleep. And, you know, the perception, the people were letting this woodpecker ruin and destroy their vacations. And this other couple were there for a honeymoon. And during their honeymoon, the woodpecker's doing its normal thing, and they just kind of, you know, went with the flow of it and understood it. Their perception of it was a little bit different than saying, oh, it's going to ruin my vacation, and kind of like, you know, I'm going to let this situation ruin my work environment, Carolyn. What they did is they went home and they took what happened and actually created it into a phenomenal thing. They were the creators of the Woody Woodpecker cartoon character. And I thought, oh my gosh, you know, they took something that a lot of people were seeing as really negative and really their perception. They became a victim of the pounding of the woodpecker, where the other couple looked at it and they were like, wow, our perception of this is... if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Yeah. And if they, Carolyn, and if they don't change, then we have to look at it and say, what do I need to change? What do I need to make a little bit different? I love it, love it, love it. And that's from Wayne Dwyer. Okay, excellent. So those are just some of the things. And like I said, from that video, we can take our perception and either go with it and accept it and understand it and realize, oh, wait a minute, my teen is becoming their own adult. They're starting on their own adventure. I really need to watch them and honor them and let them be the fabulous people that they are going to become, because I did my best job to raise them. And as a teen, we have to realize our parents are in a place, and are the people, hi Kelly, are in a place, in a situation where they're going to either be, you know, the overpowering because that's what they're so used to, or they're going to end up having to change, like Carolyn changed with us, you know, the change we look at things, you know, the things that, let me read it to you. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. And, you know, sometimes parents don't want to let our kids change. We don't want to let them become the adults that they are. We don't want to let them become empowered and impactful human beings. So to answer that question, it's time to reclaim your happy. It's time to reclaim and to change your perceptions. It's time to look at it and say, you know, I don't have to give up my power. I don't have to give up my happy to someone just because they see something different, or just because it maybe is an infringement or a negative influence somehow, some way in my life that is maybe how I hear the words that they're speaking. Change the way you hear the message. Change the way maybe that you're projecting, or the tone that you're saying things. Bring it back home. Help yourself to really get a hold of that and really get a connection with that. Not to step on any toes or not to sound like I'm being sarcastic, but I had a client come into my office one time and he wanted to work with me as a coach. And he sat down and he said, you know, my kids have led me to drink. And I looked at him and I said, seriously? And he started to proceed to dump on me about how their behavior this, and this one getting in trouble here, and this one doing that, and this one, that one. And I said, wait. So you're telling me that they have physically taken you to a liquor store, they have physically purchased the alcohol, they have physically sat you down, they have physically cracked it open, and they have physically poured it down your throat. And he said, no, you don't get what I'm saying. I said, no, you don't get what I'm saying. And through our session and working together, he began to understand that it wasn't something that somebody else was doing to him. It was his mental mindset, his emotional state of being. It was where he was at in his life at that time that he was giving away his happy. He was giving away his celebration of life. And hence he was doing the behavior that he was doing. And he couldn't turn around and say it was because, blah, blah, blah. And through that and through our sessions of working together, he then learned, I don't have to be the victim of my child's situation, of my children's situation, of the situation going on around my house. I can actually, like Carolyn shared, I can change the way I look at it. I can change the way I approach it. I can change the way that I actively am involved in it. Well, my name's April. How do you separate that then? Emotion versus what is really happening. Good question, Carolyn. When we look at the emotion, does the emotion take away from us? Does the emotion begin to break us down? When we let go of it and we have it as an emotional situation that's happening, all of a sudden you're going to realize that you're getting lost in the crowd of the situation. It's kind of like, you can be in a room full of people and all of a sudden feel totally alone and lost. Or you can be in a room of people interacting, exchanging, and being a part of it. As the emotional person who's lost, we've allowed ourselves to just begin to blend. We allow ourselves to just become a part of it when emotionally. Where if we're really in the reality of it, we want to engage. We want to be a part of it. We want to be active in it. So when emotion takes us away from us and takes us out of the space of reality, all of a sudden the emotion is in control more than we are. The action then becomes the emotional response, where if it's really in what's happening and we don't have the emotional attachment to it, we can be a part of it and be very present in it as our own individual selves, as our own individual reality. I hope that answered your question, Carolyn. I love to work with folks on a lot of this type of thing. And like I said, I do the intuitive mentorship coaching. And, a lot of times we have to realize, when did I let emotions step in? When did I let reality go away? And when did I all of a sudden go with my emotion of it versus the reality of it? For example, say that somebody makes a statement, and the statement could become either as a compliment or it could be received as an insult. And in that, we have to decide, are we going to be emotional and react to it as an insult? Or are we going to react to it as the emotion of, wow, they really cared about me. They really cared to tell me the truth. They really wanted to give me an honest input. I'm just going to use this as kind of a crazy example. You come out of the room and your kid sees you and you have on a shirt that's way too tight. And you look at and they're like, wow, isn't that shirt a little bit tight? Okay, bingo bungo, we could have two different answers. Wow, what do you mean in that too tight? Am I getting too fat? Blah, 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 blah. We've become very emotionally involved in it. And the reality of it is, as we're pulling it away and trying to stretch it out, is, you might be right. This shirt is a little bit tight. Thanks for caring. There's the two realities of it, the emotional reaction versus the reality reaction. So when we're holding on to our happy, we really want to work with, are we caught in the emotion of it and losing our happy to that emotion? Or are we caught in the reality of it and looking at it and saying, I really need to adjust that. I need to really look at that and make that change within myself that can really help me move forward, that can really help me be more empowered. It's hard, though, to do that when things are text and you don't know the connotations. Okay, excellent comment there, Carolyn. But it's very easy to control that Technology can make it hard? Yeah, because we don't see body language. We can't see their inflections. We can't see if they're rolling their eyes. We don't see any of that part of it. We just hear the tone of what we want to perceive. So you got a text message. You had sent a picture to a friend that the shirt was too tight, and the friend comments back, wow, isn't that shirt a little bit tight? Do you know the context of what they're sending that in? It's your reaction to their comment. It's your perception to that comment, to that text. Wow, are they being sarcastic and smart and mean and nasty and I can't really tell? So it's my responsibility to hold myself responsible to say, I'm not giving it to you. Great, thank you so much for your input. I appreciate that. I agree, it is a little bit tight. Or, no, I don't think it's tight at all. I really enjoy wearing this, and I'm really, I'm glad you shared your opinion. So, see, Carolyn, it becomes something we own. It becomes something that we are and who we are. Hi, Raven. I don't remember your first name. Yeah, Carolyn, it's that simple. Sometimes we just need that little bit of a light, that aha moment that says, oh my gosh, I get it. And that's what we do with our coaching. That's what we do with the mentorship coaching, in the sense that, it's to help you become the very best you that you were born to be. And when we regain our own power, when we regain our own happy, when we keep our own perception in check, Rhoda, thank you. Hi, Rhoda. When we keep ourselves and our own perception and perspective of what's going around us in check, boom, we're not going to give them that control. Maybe they did send that message, Carolyn, to be smart, nasty, and mean, and to steal our joy and to steal our happy. You know what? I'm not giving it to them. It's mine to own. It's who I am, and doggone it, you're not taking it from me. It's like the example of the woodpecker pecking on the house. I'm not going to let you take the joy of my honeymoon away. I'm going to go home and create something that's great. I'm going to go home and become something that's fabulous and fantastic. And that's what it's all about. That's how we hold on to our happy. That's how we begin to really be in control of who we are. And we keep our perceptions. And you know what? All of a sudden you're going to find the negative stuff starts to do 360s. And it's all of a sudden like, wow, that normally would have just put me down for a week. That normally may have really set me back. And I may have had an emotional situation that could have just gotten out of control. But instead, wow, look at this. I'm handling things in a whole different way, and I'm so much more happy. I didn't give my power over to that other person. I didn't allow their action and their behavior to steal from me. So my name's April, and I want to thank you for joining me for today's live feed, and I want to invite you all to hold on to your happy. If you've lost your happy, go get it and bring it back home. Enjoy it and work with it and share it. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about what I do, it's aprillugopphd.com. I'm also running a special on the coaching sessions right now. Normally each session for an hour is $100. The session special I'm running right now is that you can get 5 sessions for $100. That's absolutely phenomenal deal. And if anybody's interested, you can send me. Thanks for all the little hearts and the smileys and everything you guys are sharing. Thank you so much. Happy 4th to everybody as well. And if you'd like to know, you can email me at aprillugopphd@yahoo.com. Have a fabulous rest of your day and go find your happy.